So, Martin, it's about Arsenal's number one. Will it be Raya? Will it be Ramsdale? Might it be both in the North London derby? Because that's where we're at in this conversation about who plays in goal for Arsenal. Arteta's been talking in the last few moments. Listen to him on this.
I understand that, and it's very difficult with every player, and I suffer and I care about every player that is not playing, but this is the competition, and this is my job as well to make decisions in the best possible way for the team, and he's been very supportive. He's been really good around the place, and that's what I expect from every single player, because when you are on that field, there is someone else that is not. So it goes both ways, and so far it's been really, really good.
So, Martin, that was Mikel touching on some of the reaction to Aaron Ramsdale being dropped in favour of the former Brentford keeper Raya, who's coming in the scene. They paid a lot of money for him. But do you think the reaction to this has been over the top? Where do you stand on this? I mean, when you played, you had the same goalkeeper who you knew you could rely on, and he would be virtually there.
David Seaman, wasn't it, for a large period?
He'd be there every
he was
week,
kind of
wouldn't he?
named the number one. I remember Alex Meninga coming in for a 10-game spell was absolutely magnificent. But the boss, Wenger, said, no, David comes back into the team, he's number one. But we don't really have that situation right now. And I think...
What do you think of this situation with the goalkeeper?
Ordinarily, people might say it's not perfect, but I think it is actually, in terms of, like, you want competition, Jim, for every position around the pitch. If you had this kind of competition everywhere, then you're really going to push Man City to the limit. But with a goalkeeper, it's tough, really. And since he's been there, Arteta, he's had Martinez in goal, who is a World Cup winner. He had Leno, and then it was Ramsdale, and now he looks like he's using Raya. So the goalkeeper is really key to him. And I think when he looks back at his sort of mentor, which is Pep, look at how he got rid of Joe Hart when he first came in. You know, Joe was an established goalkeeper, went with Edison. So he wants someone who can pass the ball. It's really key to everything. In the modern day game, Jim, you're trying to develop play. And I think it's in that area, most of all, that Raya's ahead of Ramsdale.
Yeah, but
and that's why he plays.
I'll just pick you up on something. Guardiola didn't sign Joe Hart. Arteta signed Aaron Ramsdale. This is what makes this all the more curious.
Yeah, but then he still has the right.
So for Aaron Ramsdale, read David Raya.
Yeah, yes, right. But maybe just Pep was better at making that decision very quickly. He's a much more experienced manager, whereas Arteta has taken his time and felt, okay, I want to make this adjustment. There were a couple of games last season.
But his observations transcend that, because it's not just a case of, you're absolutely right, if he signed a goalkeeper and then subsequently found a better goalkeeper, it doesn't mean he shouldn't replace him.
Yeah.
So it's almost incidental, that observation. But the point is that he's gone beyond that and said that he's going to rotate, he's going to substitute goalkeepers.
We haven't seen that yet, have we?
He thinks it's a component part of the new generation, the new frontier of football, that goalkeepers at certain times during the game will be substituted.
He did say that, Simon, but it's more difficult.
I thought that was innovation for innovation's sake.
Well,
frankly.
How does he do that when Raya plays so well? Because I thought
I don't know, he's the one that said it.
The other night, he could be the new right back. He's pinging the ball for fun. He's very calm in that area. And it doesn't look like he's ruffled by anything. And I think maybe if you look at Ramsdale, there was a couple of moments last season when Jim were nitpicking, but, they gave the ball away, didn't they, against Southampton? And there was a couple of moments in earlier games this season against Manchester United where he looked a little bit rushed in possession, and maybe the managers thought, okay, do you know what, I'm going to make that change. And that's what it is. That's what you have to live with as a player. It all looks rosy from the outside. It's tough on Ramsdale. It really is. But, you're trying to become champions. You're trying to take Man City on, and you keep raising the bar. And I think that's what they've done with Raya.
I mean, it's tough on Ramsdale. Should it not incentivise Ramsdale?
Well, of course it will.
A lot of Arsenal fans are saying they're getting at us about this. Do you think the media coverage of it
a little bit? I mean,
is an overreaction?
I don't like they keep panning to Ramsdale, don't they, on the bench to see, every time there's a mistake made or a save made, or that's just the way the media is, Jim, because that's the narrative. That's the narrative. And at the end of the day, I think Thierry Henry was saying the other day, they don't scrutinise quite so much when a centre forward comes in, and but it's different for the goalie because he doesn't really get. When does Ramsdale get another chance to prove that he's better than Raya? It's really difficult for him, and Raya's now the man.
Who would you like to start on Sunday against Tottenham?
Well, I like continuity, and if I'm playing in the back four, I like to see the same goalkeeper behind me. I don't want to necessarily see that change. I can't remember.
So who gives a name?
Well, Raya plays. Jim, you can't. Do you remember a ridiculous situation we had with Shilton and Clements
rotating with Ron Greenwood
back in the day? It was like two fantastic goalkeepers, but it never really worked. You have to pick one in the end, and I think now that's what's happened here. I'm not saying he won't ever get back in the team. But Raya does look as if, Jim, he's just gone in. He takes crosses really well. He's so calm. There was a lot of pressure on him, a lot of talk around him, and he's managed it magnificently.
Interesting to see how it plays out, because it is a bold move from the manager to take another a goalkeeper that's a number one goalkeeper and put him in front of one of the England goalkeepers,
his last
and
game
make
was for England.
make a 4-act play out of it in terms of potentially being able prepared to rotate goalkeepers in the same way that you rotate players and substitute them in the same way. Because if Raya doesn't work out and subsequently throws in a few ricks, they'll be after Arteta for it.
But if you look at the game and now with these, it's like playing chess, isn't it? And you sometimes wonder for Pep, who's the queen on the pitch in that board, because he's the most powerful player on the pitch. I think it's the goalkeeper. When I see it for Ederson, and if he's got the same mantra, he's got the same belief, he's thinking, do you know what, I've got to get the goalkeeper right. I've not done it. This is my fourth goalie. I'm going to get this right because this is the way I'm going to play, because that's how it works. Sometimes I'm watching Raya and he's alongside the other centre half, and I'm thinking, wow, he's miles out of his goal. But he wants him there because he can launch a pass and then he can put other bodies in the final third. And that's what it's about, football, numbers, getting them forward. And the most important player might be the goalkeeper in the modern day game.
Did they win the Premier League with Aaron Ramsdale in goal?
Well, it doesn't look like he's going to play now, Jim, does it?
What do you think? Do you think Ryan now is going to be...
Well, they didn't last year. So maybe now that's what the manager's feeling, that this is the final piece in the jigsaw. But there is a certain long way to go to look up City. City haven't even gone through the gears yet, Jim.
Curious. I mean, I don't think they didn't win the Premier League because of Ramsdale.
No, that's right.
They didn't win the Premier League because they choked.
That's the media narrative. You see, Jim's been He's been schooled at this for years, haven't you, Jim?
But you said for a long time the goalkeeping position is probably one of the most important, if the not the most important,
it's very important
in the goalkeeper in the team.
And that's why the manager
that's why it needs a bit of closer forensic investigation. And I think there are reasons for it. I must admit, I'm not surprised about the media interest in this, because sooner or later you're going to have one guy who's very happy and one guy who's not. That's the way it will go.
And that's how football is, Jim.
And that's how football is.
There's always somebody better than you. You just got to manage the situation. Ramsdale now will learn an awful lot about, I think he's a great character. I really enjoyed him last season. Just one or two mistakes.
Yeah. And
obviously the manager now feels, I just want a little bit more finesse in that area. Key for me is how we develop the play. I might lose a little bit. His reflexes might not be quite as sharp as the other. Actually, last year, Jim, his statistics were very good. He was one of the best in the Premier League. Yeah. So far, he's taken to the job well.
I liked his chess comparison. Did you not?
It was fabulous.
Who was your favourite player, incidentally? Boris Spassky was mine.
At chess? Kasparov, wasn't it?
Gary Kasparov.
Yes.
All righty, we're at 11.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.